Hey friends. Oh my gosh. It is the first sunny day of the year here, and I have decided that today was the day to spend doing all of my podcast recording. So the sun is tempting me. I'm definitely gonna have to go take a really nice walk when I am done and just soak up those sun rays and get all that good nutrients because my goodness, it's been a really terrible year here. Well, let's dig into it and get this on the road. Today, I wanted to dig into what does it actually mean for our audience to know, like, and trust us. You will have heard, no doubt, this phrase before. Know, like, trust factor. What on earth does that actually mean? So that's the question I'm going to be answering in today's episode. Let's do this. This is Confident Communication for Entrepreneurs, the place where we embrace who we are and use it to our advantage in our businesses. We don't change who we are to fit the marketing rules. We break those rules and maybe make a few of our own too. You get to set the standard for how you communicate in your business, and I'm here to help you do that. It's time to share your message in a way that feels great and is totally aligned to who you are. So, grab a coffee and join the party. Okay, seriously, how many times have you heard the phrase, know, like, trust? Know, like, trust factor. You gotta have the know, like, trust factor. People need to know, like, and trust you. It's everywhere, but my goodness, how often do we actually break that down and talk about what it means to know, to like, to trust, to be known, to be liked, to be trusted? So, I thought today it would be worthwhile taking a bit of time to just break these things down. Talk about these three things, why they're important, what they even mean, and like how they impact our business. So that's that's what we're gonna do. Because I've had enough of seeing this phrase everywhere and hearing it all over the place and nobody actually having a conversation about what these things are. So let's jump into it. Let's dig into these three things. So let's start with know. What does it mean to be known by your audience? They've got to know you in order to buy from you. What does that mean? Well, it means a couple of things, right? First of all, obviously, it means getting seen and being visible, right? We have to be somewhere for people to buy from us, whether that somewhere is in a flyer or a billboard or like a sign in the window, whether that's on a podcast or YouTube, whether that's on social media in Facebook groups. We have to be somewhere. LinkedIn, there's so many places that we can be, and we got to be somewhere. So you've gotta know where to show up, so that you can actually be seen and to have that visibility. But to be known is so much more than this. This is just one tiny little aspect of it. To be known by our audience is also letting them know who we are as a person. If you are a solopreneur, this is particularly important. But even if you're not, if you're a part of a company, you're building a bigger brand, there's more than just one of you, your brand needs to be known. So this still applies even if it's not just you in your business. Who are we as a person, as a brand, as a company? What does that mean? So that means sharing details about ourselves. If we are solopreneurs and or like small personal brands or big personal brands for that matter, but personal brands, it's about letting people get to know like the vulnerable side of us. And I'm not talking about like airing out your freaking laundry for people to like see all the crap that goes on. I'm not talking about that. There are way too many people that I am friends with, like business friends with on Facebook, that spend their whole Facebook talking about like stuff that shouldn't be public. Now, like if you're going to use Facebook to be like a journal for yourself, fine, but make it restricted to just friends or don't use your Facebook profile for business. Like you can go too far with this. Like really seriously stuff that like just don't talk about that in public. It's just not worth it. If you want to talk about that kind of stuff, go to Twitter. That's what Twitter is for. But letting people in a little bit, right? Not having that massive wall up. You have to let people get to see who you are. And if you're a company or, a slightly bigger business, even if it's just a small business where the brand is not a person, um, letting people just know what your company is like, what kind of like personality in a way do you want your company to have? What feeling do you want people to have when, if they walk in your doors, if you are like a physical business and you're a restaurant or you have like a spa or something like that. Like what is that experience like for people? That's what you want to let people know, right? Don't close yourself off from that. Open that up. We don't buy from people or companies that we don't know, right? We just don't do it. There are like a lot of a lot of stuff out there that is like scammy or fake or um just a little bit dodgy. And we're not going to go near that, right? It's just our instincts, it's our intuition. We're afraid of that. So you have to show up and have a bit of transparency so that people um like can trust you. They know who you are, right? That gets into the know like trust factor. It's a step-by-step process. We can't trust people if we don't know who they are. So you have to start from the beginning and just do, and it can be bare minimum, right? Like I say, you don't need to, like, don't treat social media as your journal, but you don't even need to be super open about your personal life, right? If you have kids, you don't need to post about your kids all the time or let people know where you're going for dates or what you're doing with your day. You choose the scale and the amount that you want to share, but you have to share something. I um was in a copywriting group recently, where I just go to interact with other copywriters, and there was a guy in there who was asking a little while ago, oh, can I start my business or like have my freelance business and like reach out to other businesses, but like not give them my name or my picture, or anything until like after we've agreed to work together? And it's like, no, you can't, because nobody's gonna work with you. If you're not gonna tell them your name, you're not gonna let them see your face, no, they're not gonna work with you, because they're gonna think that you're a scammer. They're gonna think that you're like the next version of like the email scam where you've like won money from Nigeria or whatever, whatever those were back in like 10 years ago that were circulating around email when email was a newer technology and people were trying to take advantage of it, right? Like you have to show up in a way where people know that you are the, at the bare minimum, they know that you're a business that exists, right? At the absolute bare minimum. But if you are a more personal brand or your services are more like in that life type thing, right? You're a coach perhaps, or even just you're going to work closely one-to-one with people if you're a service provider, it's important that people are going to gel with you, right? So you have to open up a little bit and let people know a little bit about yourself. So that's really what know is and why it's so important. Because we're not going to buy, we just don't trust people that we don't know, right? You're just a stranger on the street and we don't know whether you're going to give us $100 or try to stab us. Like, we don't know what that is. So you've got to let us know which of those options it is so we know how to interact with you. Okay? So open up a little bit, let people know who you are. That's no. So, like, what does that mean? What does it mean to be liked? Well, I'm gonna bust a myth. Maybe it's not a myth. I think it's fairly well known now, but I'm gonna bust this for you in case you still think this. You are not going to be liked by everyone. End of story. That is just how the world works, right? You cannot be friends and get along with the other, like, how many people are on this planet now? Like 8 billion people, however many it is. You are not going to be liked by everyone. We all have different personalities, different traits, different like strengths and weaknesses. We're not all the same. Thank goodness we're not all the same. But that means that we're not going to get along with everybody. And it is important a lot of the time for people to like the person that they are going to work with or that they are going to hire. So you want to make sure that you're going to be liked by your people, right? The people that you want to spend time with, that you enjoy being around, right? It's your business and you get to choose who that's going to be. So you might as well work with people that you like, and not work with people that you can't stand. There are certain personality types or certain things about people that, like, I I would be very hesitant to work with them if they had that particular thing, because I know it would drive me crazy. So like for example, it drives me crazy just as a person if people are, um, like, inconsistent or they go back and forth on themselves a lot. Like, they just can't make up their mind or they can't like, they're very indecisive or just non-committal, right? So it's not I mean, I'm indecisive, but, when it comes to, like, food choices, like, stereotypical woman here, I cannot make up my mind about food for the life of me. But, not talking about that kind of indecisiveness, but, like, the kind of thing where it's like, well, one day it's this idea, and then the next day it's this idea, and then the next day it's like, you're gonna do this thing, and then the next day you're gonna do that thing. And it's like, who are you? Like, what's your foundation here? You're so different all of the time. So if there are clients like that or people like that I'm talking to where they just cannot make up their mind, I'm gonna have a really, really hard time doing my job well for them. Because if they can't make up their mind, I can't help them. I can't write for you if you don't know what you want me to write, for example. So, like, that's just one example of, like, why it's important for you to be able to know who you are gonna like as a business owner. And the thing is, like attracts like a lot of the time, right? We gel with people who are similar to us. So if you have things that you know you would really hate to work with or to deal with, or even if it's not just that you hate it, but it's just something that you don't want to deal with. So you're say that you are um like a relationship coach, but you want to be a relationship coach for people who are single looking for their relationship, not marriage counseling, not people who want to build a relationship with their children, not friendship relationships. Like, you want to help people partner up for life. You are allowed to make that distinction through the way that you interact so that people are going to be attracted to you because of things that the way that you are and the things that you want to promote and work with and deal with in your business. So how do you do this? How do you do that? You have to show up as yourself. That's the secret here. You have to just be yourself. Or if you again, if you're not a personal brand, but you are a company or a brand that is just not a person, it's more um like business focus. I say business focus. We're all business focused, but it's just like it's not a personal brand, okay? Like, just pick what that vibe is, right? You if you are a five-star restaurant and you want your restaurant to cater to like fancy business dinners or business lunches or people out for their anniversary dates, what are you going to do to attract those kinds of clientele? You're going to put your prices up. You're not going to have a kids menu. You're not going to have high chairs available or things like that, right? Like, you're going to put things into place that show people this is who I am as a restaurant. And if that's your thing, come here. And if that's not your thing, go down the road to the other guy, right? It's really important for you to be able to distinguish what you are like as a person or as a company, as a brand, so that people know what they're getting themselves into. And so that you then are not working with people that you hate, because that's no fun. We didn't get into business to do that. So you have to just be yourself. And people are going to gravitate towards you. You're going to gravitate towards them. And that's how the best business relationships are going to be found and are going to flourish, because people are going to like you. And the people that like you are going to be your people. And the people that don't like you are not going to be your people. They're going to go somewhere else. It could be scary to think about it like that. You're going to think, you like, oh my goodness, there's all these people out there that are gonna that it's like a missed opportunity, right? Like, all that business that I'm not bringing in or whatever. It's like, no, you can't do that as a business. If you are chasing everyone, you're just running in circles chasing nobody, right? You've got to pick a target and you've got to go in that direction. And that means that you're going to polarize. Even if you're not being controversial, you're going to polarize people, right? There's a lot of people out there that I work with that are Christian business owners. I'm a Christian business owner too, but I don't exclusively work with other Christians, but a lot of people do, because that's what they want. And of course, that's going to be controversial, because a lot of people will be like, oh, it's discrimination, or oh, you only want to work with Christians? How rude. But like, that's their thing. That's what they want to do. They want to help people with their faith. They want to integrate faith in business or faith in life. It doesn't make sense for them to work with people that aren't Christians. So that's their thing, right? So what's your thing that makes sense for your business? This is like your niche. Just getting really clear on your niche. And just making that your thing and embracing it and owning it, you're gonna do far more. Like, you're gonna make far more progress in business that way than trying to be the same thing for everyone, because it's just not gonna work. Because you're then gonna just exhaust yourself trying to fit into everyone else's shoes rather than saying, "Here I am, this is what I do, this is what I'm like, take it or leave it." And people will. They will take it or they will leave it. And that's easy. So that's what it means to like. You're not going to like everyone, but you are really going to be liked by your people. And that's the goal, to be liked by your people. Okay, moving on to the last one, trust. What does trust mean? We talked a little bit about it in the last episode when we dug into storytelling. Definitely go listen to that if you haven't done that already. It's super. I just love storytelling, and I'm not going to sidetrack myself today and go down the route of storytelling because I will be here forever. But that's a really good way to build trust. But trusting is about people making that decision that you are reliable, that you are worth spending money on, that you are like trusted with the thing that you're gonna do, right? Like, if you focus on the no and you focus on the like, you work on those two things, right? You get yourself known by showing up in the right places, by just talking about yourself and being vulnerable, about and just being open with who you are. That's going to lead to people, the right people liking you, right? And now that people know you and the right people are liking you, you have to then get them to trust you. And what does that look like? And why does that matter? Well, like I say, we don't buy from businesses that we don't trust. It's just too big of a risk. There's just so much stuff out there nowadays, and especially in the digital world, online, on social media, there is just so much more risk than there ever was before. So much more margin for being taken advantage of than there was before. Right? And it's so easily done. Like it's so easy for people to manipulate, and it's so easy to be manipulated, and it's kind of scary. um and but it's just a reality that we now have to deal with in this digital age, because we can't just walk to a storefront and see that there's a person there and that there's a real business and there's a till and there's other people inside. Like, we can't. Some people, obviously there's still plenty of physical businesses, but so much stuff online now. We can't do that in the same way for everything that we used to. And there's just so much more, like I say, there's so much more risk. And it's like, let me tell you just how easy this is and why I'm so passionate. And so it's so important for you to make sure that you are showing up in a way that allows people to trust you. Because, like, not all that long ago, probably about a year ago now, like, me and my husband almost got scammed by a company online. And, like, really, really glad that we didn't, but we were very, very close to it. Um, we saw an ad on Facebook for Lego sets, super discounted. And me and my husband both, we love Lego. We are big Lego people. And we were like, we can get Lego at a discount? Yes, let's do it. And so we click on the ad and we have a little look around the website. And, the website seemed it seemed a little bit off, but not like super, super off that it was like immediate red flag, right? It was just like, this is a little bit weird. But, the domain was still like Lego, and we went back to the Facebook page and it was like Lego, and it had the logo. It looked so real. It looked so legit. And we almost bought some stuff, like we were looking at stuff and like adding I don't even remember. I don't remember if we added stuff to the cart, but we were making decisions about what stuff we wanted to buy, based on like a budget that we had and how much everything was. And we were so close to going to the checkout, and there was just like something that was just nagging us that was a little bit off, and we couldn't figure out what it was because everything looked so real. Like, the domain was legit looking and everything. And eventually we went into the Facebook page that had advertised to us, and we saw that literally just like 3 months ago, it had been posting about something completely different. like nothing Lego. It wasn't actually like a Lego page because it had been posting about like random beauty products in like a completely different language, like just a couple of months before it had done this ad for Lego or something like that. And then we thought, okay, that's really, really weird. And then so we went to a different tab, went to Google, just did like a Google search, went to the Lego website, and obviously it was a totally different website, right? We went to the actual legit Lego website, searched it, verified that actually they weren't running any of these sales, and this was just like a weird website. So I don't know at all. So anyway, turns out whatever this was, I don't know who this was, who was running it, whatever it was, but it was like it was a total scam. It dressed itself up to look like Lego and was trying to get people to send them money. I don't even know if they would have sent anything in exchange for that money. I don't know. Maybe they sent like maybe they would send like a knockoff brand of something, like who knows. But it wasn't the legit site. Now, sorry, that was a super long story. But it just demonstrates that it is so important to show up in a way that can be trusted, because stuff like this is real. It's so easy to be caught by it. And I'm a very cautious person online. I don't trust the internet like at all. And still it almost got me this time. And might get me again in the future, right? I hope not, but that potential is always there. So you have to be able to show up and demonstrate to people that you are a legit person, a legit business, a legit company. And so whatever you need to do to demonstrate that, you have to do. So make sure that you use your face if you're a personal brand. You have a name. Make sure you have a business address or something that people can like Google and see that, oh, there's a real place attached to this person. Show up on video. If you have testimonials, share testimonials, share stories like I talked about in the last episode. Like, do things, go out of your way to demonstrate trust, because that's what's gonna get people to buy from you, to part with their money online and to take that leap. Because they may like you, but if they don't trust you, they're still not going to hit buy. That's the most important part of these three things. If you are not trustworthy, then nothing else is going to happen. And it's, like I say, it's so easy to be scammed, and people are just on their guard for it now, because most people, especially in like the younger generations now, we know the potential of the online world, and people are hyper aware. So do things that are gonna get you to be trusted. Have conversations with people as well. That's a really helpful way to build trust, is to like discuss things. Don't just jump straight into your offer. The number of like big red flags will go off if you send me a DM that says, I have this thing, it's gonna be great, buy it here. It's like, no, who are you? What is this link? Where is it taking me to? Does this have a virus on it? No, have a conversation first. If you're gonna send messages, make sure you have a conversation first. You have to build that trust, because otherwise people just think that it's a scam or a virus or something like that, right? That they're suddenly just gonna have a broken computer or all of their bank account wiped. So take the extra time to build that trust. It's going to make sales so much easier for you, because you've already gone through that process of establishing that you're a real person and you can be trusted. So that's what it means to have the know, like, trust factor in a much more comprehensive way than I have ever seen people talk about it before. So I have a question for you now. Which of these three things do you think you need to work on a little more? I want you to take some time today or tomorrow, um, if you're on the go, take some time to like think about this for yourself. Like, which of these three things do you think you need to work on a little bit more? Is it getting known? Is it showing up in the right places and just opening up and letting people see who you are? Is it the like factor, just owning who you are and not worrying about being a bit polarizing or being different or whatever that is? Is it the trust factor? Is it doing just like the little bits and pieces here and there that are going to help people see that you're real and you're legit and that you are trustworthy? That's what I want you to think about and start working on it. Once you've identified which of these 3 things you need a little bit more work on, start taking small steps, small action. You don't need to change everything all at once, but just take a small step to fixing one of those 3 things. That's going to take you a long way towards people buying your stuff, becoming your fans, sharing you with everyone else in the world. Is getting these 3 things right, but it just needs one step to start. So, good luck. Have fun reflecting and seeing what you come up with. And I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye. Want to practice what you just learned? Or maybe you just have a couple of questions. Join me in my Facebook group, Confident Communication for Entrepreneurs, where you can connect with me and a bunch of other amazing business owners working to sell their offers their own way. If you want to dig a little deeper, go to sarahbeisel.com/resources, where you'll find all of my free stuff to get you started on your journey towards authentically and confidently communicating with your ideal clients. And if you're ready for that next step, head over to sarahbeisel.com/workwithme to learn about my coaching, courses, and program. I'll see you there. And if not, then I'll see you next time.